Hi, my name is Andrew Mancini, and I'm a kid reporter for Time for Kids magazine.
Hello.
Welcome to our hangout. I'm here in Mountain View, California with Lemony Snicket. He is the best-selling author of a series of unfortunate events. The 13-volume series has sold over 60 million copies around the world. Mr. Snicket's second series, All the Wrong Questions, tells tales from when Snicket was a young apprentice at Staying by the Sea. His new book in the series is called Shouldn't You Be in School? Mr. Snicket says the plot is upsetting and none of anyone's business. Welcome, Mr. Snicket.
I'm not Lemony Snicket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Daniel Handler. I show up when Lemony Snicket is too alarmed or unnerved to come here. I'm sure it's a disappointment for the 2 classrooms in Hillsborough, New Jersey, who have been sitting in chairs, some of whom aren't even given desks, I can see, and are sitting there trapped with nothing to do. And now you're finding out that Lemony Snicket hasn't shown up, and the whole thing is a complete disappointment, and it's another terrible day for you in Hillsborough, New Jersey. I'm very sorry about that. I hope things get better, but I don't think that they will.
Yeah.
Are you upset about it?
Yeah. I'm actually upset.
Yeah? Is this what you look like when you're really upset?
Yeah.
You seem to, if you're holding in your emotions a little bit. If you need to weep for a moment, you don't have to be embarrassed. You can weep in front of these 2 classrooms from Hillsborough, New Jersey.
I don't have any tissues, though.
I have a handkerchief for you if you like.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
How do you know Mr. Snicket?
Mr. Snicket and I have been working together for quite some time. We have a lot of things in common. We're both writers, and we're both very handsome. Suit with kind of a red and blue, and even at the bottom, green and yellow tie.
I'm sorry Mr. Snicket couldn't join us, but thanks for being here.
You're quite welcome. You don't seem that upset about it, though. You're recuperating now?
Yes.
I'm glad. The classrooms don't seem upset either. I can only see one of them, but that one doesn't look very upset. I'm looking at the one that has the word power behind them and a pile of backpacks and a mysterious bearded man who's holding 2 hands up in alarm or frustration. Is he your teacher? I can't hear you, so you have to answer no.
Yes.
All right. Is he a good teacher or a terrible teacher? What would you give him out of a scale of 1 to 10 if 10 is the best teacher in the whole wide world and 1 is a deranged murderer? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
I was going to guess maybe 6. That would be my guess.
6, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry I distracted you.
Okay.
Mr. Mancini has worked very hard and he has a list of questions that I'm trying not to.
I'd also like to introduce our 2 classrooms joining us through Connected Classrooms on Google+. The first classroom is from Woodford Elementary School in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
I guess that's the... Are you in Wood... Where are you? Are you at the Woodford Elementary?
Yes!
Yeah. Are there woods and ferns nearby?
Yes! Yes!
Or is it just named after Robert Woodfern?
I don't know.
It's teaching you anything there. Oh well. What's the other classroom?
The second classroom is from Triangle Elementary School, also in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
Triangle Elementary. Oh, Triangle, you seem very upset. I'm sure you're disappointed that Lemony Snicket hasn't shown up. I think it's strange that you're at Triangle Elementary School and yet I see so many squares and rectangles in the classroom. I don't see a single triangle. I see some squares and rectangles hanging from the ceiling. Wow. Oh, they have a secret handshake.
The classrooms will have the chance to ask questions later.
Later. Not now.
Later.
Later.
First, I have a few questions for Mr. Handler, Lemony Snicket's representative.
Mr. Mancini has questions for me, probably mostly about Lemony Snicket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll ask questions, and then the whole thing will be over. And you're free to go home for the rest of the day. No, you probably have to stay there.
Mr. Handler, what inspired Lemony Snicket to write the series All the Wrong Questions?
Well, All the Wrong Questions is about his own childhood and apprenticeship when he was close to your age. You told me you're 11. I don't have any proof of that, of course, but I'm taking your word for it. He was an apprentice in a secret organization, and he was sent to the town of Stained by the Sea, where he soon found himself enwrapped and enraptured and emburdened by horrible and sinister mysteries and other terrible goings-on, and soon he found himself in the depths of despair and frustration. Have you experienced similar emotions at that age?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. What's been something that's been caused you a lot of despair recently?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't want to tell me?
No.
You don't want to say things in front of these two classrooms in Hillsborough, New Jersey?
Nope.
All right.
Why do you think Mr. Snicket always finds himself involved in mysteries?
Well, because I think the world is a mysterious place full of mysterious goings-on. For instance, as an example, it's a complete mystery to me why there appear to be illustrations of giant pencils taped to the wall of Triangle Elementary School, and that each pencil has an exclamation point or a question mark in it. That doesn't make any sense to me at all, and I find that kind of alarming and upsetting. I also noticed that it looks like there's replications of book covers hanging from the ceiling. That also seems upsetting. So that, I think wherever you go, you can see mysterious things. I mean, this is a mysterious room we're in, right?
Yes.
We were just examining something that had been written there that didn't make any sense to us.
Why is shouldn't you be in school the wrong question?
Well, in the book, Shouldn't You Be in School, Mr. Snicket is asked that question, and he thinks to himself, no, I shouldn't be in school because I'm an apprentice in a secret organization. But soon the mystery takes him into a sinister school where terrible things are going on. So it turns out to be the right question, or it turns out to be the wrong question that he should have answered at the right time.
I see. And
Does that make sense to you? It's a little confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what are the right questions to ask related to this book?
What are the right questions to ask? I think the right questions to ask are, excuse me, librarian, do you have a more suitable book for me that won't make me cry and won't make me stay up all night obsessed with mysteries that are really none of my business? Or why am I in school and being forced to listen to a man who isn't an author talk into a camera and a microphone that are 3,000 miles away when there's so many other things I could be doing? Or here's another question. Who is the mysterious woman in the back of Triangle Elementary School? What is she doing with all those young people? Oh, there are 3 women. You see, the mystery increases. That would be one of the questions that I would ask. I would ask, why are we talking about an upsetting mystery when there's so many mysterious and sinister things going on? I think of the 3 women, the one in the middle looks the most mysterious and most untrustworthy to me. What do you think? Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, either her or the one on the right.
Oh, the one on the right. Yeah, well, she's wearing a darker outfit so that she could be working as a cat burglar, for instance. It's a perfect outfit to wear if you want to break into a home in the middle of the night. But it's still daytime, even in New Jersey.
Mr. Snicket says this book is upsetting and none of anyone's business. Why is that?
Because it's upsetting, and I don't think it's any of your business. I mean, you're not associated with that secret organization, are you?
No.
No, so then why would you pick up a book about a secret organization that you're not a member of?
Because it's a good book?
It's a good book.
In some people's minds.
In some people's minds, I see. So like a school catching fire, that's your idea of a good time.
Yeah.
Or a mysterious double-crossing woman, that's your idea of good.
Interesting story.
Oh, I see. Do you have dirty double-crossing women in your own life?
No.
Have you ever been in a building that's been on fire?
No.
Do you think you've ever been in a building and it's turned out to be on fire?
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't think so? Do you think Google Hangout is a secret plot to distract young people in a classroom when the rest of the school may be in flames?
Yes.
Could be. Oh, well, they don't seem alarmed.
Yeah, no. What is regret and greatest achievement?
Gosh, Mr. Snicket's greatest regret and greatest achievement? I would say his greatest achievement, personally, I think his greatest achievement is that he stayed alive because so many of his enemies in the sinister circumstances are after him. So that's a pretty good achievement.
Yeah.
I've achieved that myself. I'm also alive. And his greatest regret? Well, most of the books in a series of unfortunate events are dedicated to Beatrice, his long-lost love. So I would say that's probably his greatest regret. What's your greatest regret so far?
I don't want to share it.
No, why not?
I don't know.
I think that's part of a good journalistic experience is that you have to give some information to get some information.
I just don't honestly know.
You don't honestly know?
No.
Well, name something that's a regret of yours, even if it's not the greatest one. Did you do something that made you regret your actions? Of course you have.
Yeah.
But you don't want to tell me.
No.
You've thought of something terrible that you've done and you don't want to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
You're even blushing a little bit thinking about it. It must have been awful. Can I guess? Murder?
No comment.
All right. It's either murder or not.
And do you know how the story ends? And if so, can you share any of it with us?
Do I know how this story ends?
No,
The
like
story of you and me in
before.
this room? I hope it ends with me leaving safely, but it might not. The ceiling panels, I guess we could adjust the camera to show people them. They look fragile. At least part of the room looks like it's held together by tape. So I hope the end of the story is that
Yeah.
we leave and neither of us are harmed. That would be my first choice. My second choice would be that I'm okay and you would be harmed. That's my second choice, right? Which you probably feel the same way. And then the third choice would be that I'm harmed, but you're okay. And then my fourth choice would be that both of us are harmed.
Okay.
That's an order in which I like them. It's not an order in which I think is going to happen.
How has the town of Stained by the Sea changed since the beginning of the series in the first book?
Well, the town of Stained by the Sea now has an unusual name because it's no longer by the sea. The primary industry in Stained by the Sea is ink, and the ink came from octopi, and the octopi live in the sea. And the principal industry of the company, Ink Inc., a company that is like Google, very enormous and powerful, decided to drain the sea in order to get the last of the octopi. So now Stained by the Sea is just near a dry seabed. And so that's been kind of depressing and upsetting for the town. I wonder if Google could drain the sea if they wanted to. They seem pretty powerful to me.
Yeah.
I don't think they've either not thought of it or they've decided not to do it. There's someone here from Google who's not giving an opinion on whether or not there's a plan to drain the sea. I guess we'll just have to look it up on Bing.
Yeah. And what advice does Mr. Snicket have for children who are afraid of things?
What advice do I have for children who are afraid of things? I guess it depends what the thing is. Some kind of fear you want to get over, and sometimes you don't, right? Like if you say, wherever I go, there's a pack of angry wolves running towards me. I'm afraid of them. How do I work through that fear? And I would say, no, don't work through that fear. Hold on tight to that fear, right? Maybe try to live someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if you say, wherever I go, I'm afraid of Post-its, and this is a fear you would have to get over because you never know when a Post-it is going to come out and attack you. So that would be a fear to work through. Are you have a fear?
Of spiders.
Oh, of spiders. Yeah. And how fearful are you of spiders? Like, would you see, if a spider crawled out here, would you jump out?
No, well, it depends how big it was.
I see, yeah. What if it were not like science fiction movie big, but like a big fat spider?
Yeah, I'd probably do this.
Oh, yeah? Do you tell yourself, well, there's no reason to be afraid of spiders. They're getting rid of all the mosquitoes in my house. Or do you can't
No,
even
I
get that
hope
far?
that there's no mosquitoes in my house.
Well, there's probably something for a spider to eat. Otherwise, it's something like a caterpillar or a mosquito or a young child. There's something like that a spider would enjoy eating. That's probably why it's in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Like an 11-year-old, for instance. I think would probably be great for a spider.
Yeah. And do you know what other adventures Mr. Snicket will be writing about?
Do I know what other adventures Mr. Snicket will be writing about? Yes.
And did Mr. Snicket, in the end, enjoy his time at the secret organization VFD?
Well, a secret organization is like an education. Parts of it are very enjoyable, and parts of it make you weep and moan, but maybe in the end it's valuable work to be done. Like you go to school, right? You go to school or you work in a factory. You go to school?
School.
Yeah. And so I'm sure parts of your school day are terrible. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay. I don't think, because your teachers let you out of school, so I don't think they'll see this. So
Yeah.
it's okay. You can admit how terrible it is. And yet, overall, it's probably important for you to get an education, even though you're miserable just about all the time and crying every night into the arms of your mother or someone else's mother.
Yeah. And where can kids learn more about Lemony Snicket's new books?
Well, I don't know. The children in Hillsborough, New Jersey, if they're allowed to leave that classroom, could probably go to a library. right? Maybe there's a library even in the schools where they could go and learn more about Mr. Snicket. There's also information online. There's a website called Lemony Snicket Library that is full of information about Lemony Snicket. And probably you could use some kind of search engine, a powerful search engine online. I can't think of the name of one now. But if there were a really powerful search engine that used a lot of new and exciting technology, that would be some place to learn, but I can't think of the name of one.
Yeah.
Can you think of one?
Yahoo.
Yahoo's a good one. Yeah, I think that's a really good one.
Will Mr. Snicket ever write about his siblings?
Will Mr. Snicket ever write about his siblings? Well, he has written about his siblings. His siblings show up in a series of important events. So you would like more information about his siblings?
Well, I'm asking.
You're asking. But you personally, are you curious about his siblings?
Yes.
Huh. About siblings in general?
No, not particularly.
Do you have siblings?
No.
No. Maybe that's why you're curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you sometimes think to yourself, I wonder what it would be like if I had a sibling?
Yes, I wonder. Not I wish, but...
No, right. You're just curious. And do you ever think to yourself, maybe I actually have a sibling that my parents are keeping from me for some reason?
No.
No. Do you ever, when you're falling off to sleep, hear like a noise somewhere in the house?
No.
You've never heard a noise in your house while you're falling asleep?
Not when I'm falling asleep.
No, but like when you're in bed, sometimes at night, you'll hear a noise.
Sure, TV or something.
Right,
like that.
or it could be your sibling, right, coming out of hiding. Maybe they have one kid who they raise nocturnally, and they say, no, you don't have any siblings, and then they have you that they raise in the daytime, and they say, no, you don't have any siblings.
And I guess that's why my mom always drinks coffee, because she's so tired.
Of course, she's exhausted from raising at least one child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does Mr. Snicket like to read?
What does Mr. Snicket like to read? He likes to read exciting and upsetting things. He's the work of Roald Dahl. He's a great author. He likes books by Adele Griffin. She's really wonderful. He likes the poetry of Elizabeth Bishop, which describes some alarming things that have happened in Brazil. Things like that. What about you? What do you like to read?
I just like to read mysteries.
Oh, mysterious things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And do you examine mysterious things in your own life?
No.
No, you just read about them and then wander blind through your own mysterious life.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting strategy.
Yeah. And how does Mr. Snicket decide which of his adventures to write about?
Well, I think that's pretty easy. I think if you, for instance, if you take a walk around your neighborhood and you see a squirrel on the grass, and then you see a grand piano fall from the sky onto a family of 3, crushing them flat. And then when you get home, if someone says, hey, how was your walk? You're probably not going to mention the squirrel.
Yeah.
Right? You're probably going to mention the most interesting thing that you saw. So I think it's like that. When you're writing about your own life, you're probably going to choose the more interesting things. And when you're making up a story, you're going to say to yourself, what are the interesting details and what are the boring ones? And let's cut the boring ones out. Let's cut that squirrel out of the story. Right? Because that's how you tell the story.
Yeah.
You'd say, like, Mom, you won't believe it, a grand piano fell. You wouldn't say, well, there was a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares about the squirrel.
Yeah. And if Mr. Snicket wasn't in hiding or wasn't, like, here. Or,
He wasn't here.
Yeah.
But he isn't here.
If
You seem a little confused.
what
Have
is
you been drinking?
No.
I'm glad.
What is Mr. Snicket doing right now?
What is Mr. Snicket doing right now? Well, I can't see him from here. I know that he had some interest in meeting you and being subjected to your questioning. But then he learned that there was this technology that was beaming his image out all over the place, and he thought to himself, but I have so many enemies in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Who knows what terrible spies are lurking in the Triangle Elementary School or in Woodfern Elementary School. And so then he said, I better not make myself visible. I better send a very handsome man in a gorgeous tie to talk to people instead.
I see. And what advice do you or Mr. Snicket have for kids today?
What advice do I have for kids today? It depends what they're going through. If we're talking about wolves again, I would say stay away from wolves. If there's a pack of angry wolves coming towards you, stay away from them.
I see.
There are not a lot of authors or authors' representatives who teach that to children. In fact, I bet the teachers that we see in these classrooms have never discussed the importance of fleeing from wolves with their classroom. I bet they've never, not a single lesson on the importance of getting away from ravenous wolves. I wonder why that is.
Yep. Don't know.
I guess she wants them to have wolves attack the children That's terrible. Can you imagine? 3 women there and 1 man in the other classroom. And the 4 of them can't wait for children to be attacked by wolves. Children that they're in charge of. There's another woman! Who is she? Ah! She has a photograph of a wolf. I can't see the photograph close up. Oh my goodness, it has the arm of someone. And who is that wolf just eaten? You're upsetting me. I'm getting more and more nervous.
And Mrs. Hampton's 4th grade class from Harrison Parkway Elementary in Fishers, Indiana, asked a question on Twitter. They asked, what is the most dreadful book you have ever read?
What is the most dreadful book that I have ever read?
Not Mr.
That's a good question. One dreadful book I would say is Danny, the Champion of the World, by Roald Dahl, in which a young boy falls into a pit. I think it would be upsetting to fall into a pit. Also, another upsetting book that I've read is Angelina Ballerina, which is about a small mouse who wants to become a ballerina. And of course, the chances of a mouse getting to become a ballerina are practically nil. So she lives in a delusional state wanting to be a ballerina. It's a very upsetting book.
I see.
Thank you, Ms. Hampton's 4th grade class, wherever you are. Oh, I know where you are. You're in Fishers, Indiana.
And I'm going to read a question from named Alyssa, who is in Mrs. Starr's 5th grade class.
Okay, do you know her?
No.
No.
The class is in Flat Rock, Michigan, so.
Well, it's not impossible you would know someone that lives in Flat Rock, Michigan.
Yeah.
You seem kind of snooty about the community of Flat Rock. No, I certainly don't know Alyssa. She lives in Flat Rock, Michigan. Brave talk for a boy from San Carlos, I'll say that much. All right, what does she say? This woman you don't know, this stranger.
She asked, the names of your characters are very unique, so how do you come up with them?
Well, the characters in Mr. Snicket's books are from his own life, so people can name anybody, anything nowadays. So I guess what she's really asking is where babies come from and how do you get to name them. So when a man and a woman love each other very much and they want to have a child, they can, and then they can name the child just about anything. How are you named Andrew?
My parents just
like that name? You're not named after anyone or anything?
I think I was.
You think you were?
Yes.
My
dad's friend.
Your dad's friend. That's interesting. I wonder why you were named after your dad's friend.
I don't know.
That would be a question to ask your mother, I think.
Okay. And I have a question from Time for Kids reader Brandon, who
says... And do you know Brandon?
No.
No. And we don't even know where he lives.
Nope.
I wonder where he is, Brandon. Maybe he's in prison.
He just says...
Lonely.
He says he's Mr. Snicket's #1 fan, even in jail or wherever he is.
Yeah. Maybe he just says that so they'll treat him nicer in jail.
And Brandon asked, why do you always leave cliffhangers at the end of your books? He's always dying to find out what happens next.
I'm sorry to hear that Brandon is in prison and dying. I think that Mr. Snicket, when he was chronicling his childhood, he wrote his childhood here in 4 volumes. And I think he just split them up when it made sense. I'm sorry that Brandon feels like he's dangling at the end of a cliff. That's got to be tough for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's take some questions from the classrooms. They will take turns.
Okay.
Triangle Elementary School, do you have a question?
Do you have a question, Triangle Elementary School?
Yeah.
Hello. First, I think you should give Andrew Mancini a round of applause because he's done such a wonderful job.
Hello, Mr. Snicket. My question,
I'm not Mr. Snicket, but hello.
Mr. Hammond. Okay.
In the series of unfortunate events, Mr. Snicket more like an inventor, Klaus a reader, or Sunny a biter?
I couldn't hear that question very well, I'm sorry.
Louder!
In the series of unfortunate...
Wait, first, who is... Louder! Louder!
In the series of unfortunate events, is Mr. Snicket more like Violet an inventor, Klaus a reader, or Sunny a biter?
In a series of unfortunate events, is Mr. Snicket more like an inventor, a reader, or a biter? That's hard to say because I think he's invented some things, he's read other things, and he's bitten some more things. I would say that out of all the characters precursor of Lemony Snicket. I think that's who he resembles the most.
Yes. Now, Woodford Elementary, do you have a question?
Hello, Woodford Elementary. Oh, here's the man dragging a young man closer to the microphone. Ah! All right, hello.
So go ahead, look at the camera. Nice and loud. Say your name.
Hi, my name is Marcus Cole from...
Hello, Marcus. How are you?
Good.
I'm glad. Are you feeling pretty healthy? Sort of. So are you saying that you're a little bit ill?
No.
Or are you doing fine?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. Were you forced to ask a question, or did you want to?
I want to.
Okay. Is the question written down on that piece of paper?
Yep.
Do you want to read it out loud, or do you want to just hold the piece of paper up to the camera?
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
Why does Lemony Snicket want his name to be the main character?
Why does Lemony Snicket want his name to be the main character? That's a curious question. I don't think that Lemony Snicket's name is the main character. I think that Lemony Snicket is the main character, and I think he's the main character because he's writing about his life. Sort of like if you were writing about your life, it would be about the life of Marcus, a boy who may be injured or fall ill very soon. You wouldn't write about someone else if you were writing about your own childhood. You wouldn't write about the mysterious woman in white who's lurking in the back of the room. You wouldn't write about her. About yourself. Okay. So I think that's why when he's writing about his own life, he becomes the main character.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that was a satisfying answer, but if it wasn't, oh well. Another disappointment for Marcus. Another terrible day for poor Marcus.
Now, Triangle Elementary, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Triangle Elementary's turn. Hello.
Was Lemony Snicket really born in a country that is now underwater?
He was really born in the country that is now underwater. Yes, he was really born that way. Is that the whole question on that long red sheet of paper?
There's more, and it's orange.
It's orange.
Orange. Well, sorry, when the technology improves, we'll be able to know that it's orange. It looks red.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
What
What color does my tie look like? Does it look red or orange?
Red.
And what about Andrew? Does he look red or flesh-toned?
Kind of green.
Good, because he is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry, you have another question?
What nationality is he?
What nationality is Lemony Snicket?
Yeah.
Well, we just said he's from that part of the country, yes.
What country?
What country? The one that is now underwater.
What country is that?
Frustrating answer that is. My question is, why are you so concerned with Mr. Snicket's nationality?
Who's responsible for this work?
You should respect him no matter what nation he's from. I respect Andrew, even though I have no idea where he's from.
Is he from Atlantis?
Atlantis? No.
Go ahead. San Francisco's not underwater.
Oh, he gave up. Frustrated with the answer, and he walked away. I don't blame him. What a terrible day this is.
Now, Woodford Elementary, do you have a question?
Oh, it's Woodford's turn. See you later, Triangle. Well, hello, Wood. Ah! There's a woman standing in the front. Who is she?
Hi, my name is Maylin.
Hello, Mailing. Nice to meet you. How have you been?
Good.
Yeah. Who is that woman in the white who's in the back of the room?
It's a librarian.
Oh, yeah, she's a librarian. Is she a librarian you can trust? So that's authority and all the wrong questions, or is she a librarian who seems sinister?
You can trust her.
Oh, yeah, you can trust her? I wonder why you think you can trust her. She's creeping around in the back of the room right now. She seems alarmingly close to everybody's backpacks. Perhaps she's going to steal some snacks while you're all facing the camera.
You were supposed to.
All right, I'm sorry. You had a question, and then I got distracted by your librarian.
What
You can
does
ask your question now if you want. You don't have to, though.
What does the S in S. Theodore Markson stand for?
What does the S in S. Theodora Markson stand for? The S stands for her first name.
What's that? What's that?
What's that? What do you mean, what is a first name? A first name is when you have a bunch of names in a row for yourself. The first one is called your first name. Like the first name of Andrew is Andrew. His last name is Mancini. I don't know his middle name. Stephen. Andrew Stephen Mancini. ASM. So S. Theodore Markson is named S, some first name that Mr. Snicket doesn't know, Theodora, which is her middle name, and Markson, which is her last name. And I would also guess that it's her maiden name, because she seems so unpleasant that it seems like she hasn't been married yet. Are you married yourself, Mei-Ling?
No.
How old are you?
9.
You're 9 and not married. Wow. Okay. Soon you're going to be 10, and then you'll be 10 and a half, and before you know it, your whole life will have passed away, and you'll be alone. Oh well. It looks like there's some single gentlemen in your classroom. If you want, I'm sure the librarian. You don't want to be married now?
No.
All right. Rats. I was hoping to perform the ceremony via Google. Triangles come down?
Yeah.
All right, back to triangle we go. See you later, Woodfern. Hello, triangle.
Hi, my name is Lance. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and yourself?
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, yeah? Why does your shirt say faster on it? Did you used to be slow? No. You just wish you were faster, or you are faster?
Wish I was faster.
You wish you were faster. So you're wearing a shirt that has an adjective that describes how you wish you were.
Yeah?
That's interesting. It's a good thing you don't have a shirt that says dead, because it would mean you wish you were dead. All right, what's your question?
How did Lemony Snicket feel about them changing your book so much in the movie?
How did Lemony Snicket feel about the books being changed so much into the movie? I think that the movie took 3 terrifying books that I'll represent here by 3 post-it piles and crushed them all into a movie. So that there's a lot more pain and suffering per minute than there was in the individual books. And I think that it depends, if you like the movie, it's more like tearing a Band-Aid right off. And if you like the books, it's more like slowly peeling a Band-Aid off your wound. Which do you prefer, Andrew?
Probably slowly peeling it off.
Oh yeah, when you have a cut and you need to take the Band-Aid off, you slowly peel it?
Yeah.
I see.
Hello.
Well, I think that answered the question.
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard to tell because he's not looking at the camera. Maybe he's too upset. He doesn't want to look at me anymore. I don't blame him.
Go.
There's that mysterious woman bossing you around again. Wave to it! Wave! Wave, I said! All right, now I'm leaving Triangle Elementary School. Goodbye, Triangle Elementary School, and I'm going to Woodfern. Hello. Here I am back at Woodfern. Ah! Oh my God.
Hello, my name is Rithvik.
It's nice to meet you, sir. How's Woodfern Elementary treating you so far?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome?
Yes.
Really?
Teacher.
Are you suspicious of anyone in your classroom?
No.
No, you like everyone?
Yes.
That can't be true. There must be someone you don't like.
Teacher.
I'm looking around the classroom now and seeing if there's anyone I don't like there. I can't figure it out. Maybe. All right. You have a question? I'm ready.
Why did Hangfire want the Abominating Beast?
Why did Hangfire want the Abominating Beast? Hangfire is the villain in All the Wrong Questions. I happen to have a book of it here. And he is trying to get his hands on the mysterious statue of the Abominating Beast. I think it's because he wants to use it for something. I think it has a surprising use. It might have to do with the word abominating, which is found in not very many dictionaries, only some. I wonder if your librarian has a really good dictionary in her library or just mediocre ones.
Oh, they're excellent.
Yeah, you have a really good dictionary?
Yeah.
With the word "bominating" inside it?
Maybe.
Maybe. Now suddenly you can't defend your dictionary. Meanwhile, the young man by the window is sawing his own head off. All right, well, that felt like a solid question to me.
Yes.
Now we're leaving Woodford and we're going back to Triangle?
Yep.
I see. I'm glad you're keeping track.
Triangles, right? Yeah.
Hello, Triangle. Oh, you're still Woodford.
Hi, I'm Dia Shah.
Hello.
How are you?
I can't complain. How are you?
Good.
Yeah? What happened to you yesterday?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
You just sat there all day long?
Yeah.
We Lemony Snicketed all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear that bossy woman again. Something about Lemony Snicket. I can hear it all.
Someone's got to be the boss. Okay.
Is she your teacher, or is she just a woman holding you hostage?
She's a teacher.
No.
No.
Okay.
Teacher.
Right. Now, you've written your question on a pink sheet of paper. Is it actually pink, or is it a trick of the camera again?
It's pink.
Yeah. And did you get to choose your own color to write questions on, or were you just given a piece of paper?
We get to choose.
And so is pink a favorite color of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is that? Is that because you enjoy raw meat?
No.
No, you just like the color pink? All right.
Why does Lemony Snicket always have 13 chapters in his books?
Well, I think 13 is a nice round number, don't you?
Yeah.
0.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed the number 13, although here's an interesting thing, is that in each volume of a series of unfortunate events, there are 13 chapters. There are 13 volumes. 13 times 13 is 169, and yet, in a series of unfortunate events, there's 170 chapters. What? Something's going on. Well, thanks for your interest in numbers and pink. I'm now returning to Woodford Elementary.
We have time for one more question.
One more question. This better be an excellent question. This better be the best question I've ever been asked. Because if it isn't, then this whole morning has been a complete waste.
Hi, I'm Madeline.
Hi, Madeline. What's on your shirt? I can't see.
They're minions.
Oh, I see. They're from a movie.
Do they ever find Ellington's father?
Do they ever find Ellington's father? I hope so. Are you worried about him?
No.
Not worried about him? You could care less about a girl's missing father? That's interesting to me.
My father.
Oh, you would only worry if it was your father missing. I see. So if anyone else's father went missing, you wouldn't care.
No.
So if Andrew's father vanished without a trace, you wouldn't bother Madeline at all.
No.
A wicked person she is. Maybe that's a good last question, because so many of Mr. Snicket's books have to do with noble people, such as Andrew, and very, very wicked people, such as Madeline. It has to do with how noble and well-read people who do a lot of preparation for a work of journalism, are noble and true and the heroes of the world, and then there are the wicked people like Madeline. Stand in front of a classroom, who stand in front of a camera and say, I don't care if people go missing. It doesn't matter to me if men go missing. What care I? No wonder you're wearing something that is despicable on your shirt. Because of your own despicability, despicableness, despicability,
We'll need a
despicableness.
good dictionary.
If only we have the good dictionary. Well, that's the last question.
Yeah, that's all we have time for today, but thanks to Triangle Elementary and Woodford
For
Elementary
your
for
great
your
questions.
great questions.
Sorry, I'm reading your script.
Mr. Handler, thanks for joining us. Did we ask any wrong questions?
I think just about all of the questions that asked were wrong. They were all kind of upsetting. They were all alarming. They all indicated that you have untrustworthy teachers and librarians and that you're reading upsetting books. And I'm now going to take this handkerchief and spend the rest of the day crying. Goodbye. Goodbye, Woodfern. Goodbye, Twine. Goodbye, mysterious librarian in the back of the room. Goodbye, bossy woman at Triangle Elementary. Goodbye, wolf. I hope